Well, here I am again. This is Toby. That picture there was when I first got him. Pretty awful looking. This is, I can't remember what the date on this one was, but this is probably 6 months later at the trot, but you can still see he just kind of goes up and down. He was ridden on a very short rein, just tucked to his face. And then now this is even later. This is more current because it's with the solo shot. Have you ever had a day when you go, things aren't going right, and so you say, I'm going back? Well, that's what I decided to do, was go back, film him, because I hadn't for a while, and see what was going on. Because the day before when I rode him, I did not like the transition to trot. This guy was orphaned at 2 months, so we've had some of our orphan issues of who's the boss, but he's coming along. Of course, this is just walk in hand. He was ridden pretty much with his nose to his chest, so the fact that he thinks he can even put his nose down, is a new concept for him, to stretch that whole back and everything. So this day I decided I was really going to work on trying to get that nose lower and lower to the ground. And I thought I was pretty successful in doing this. And here we're up a little too high. Okay, so now we go on to lunging. And I don't know if you'll see this, but here I noticed, and I changed them. Of course, I cut some of that stuff out when I'm not actually working with the pony. But when I was doing this, I thought, this is the side reins are too short. He's not willing to go. So at one point in a lot of this, I changed the length of the side reins because he just was not going where I wanted him to. So we're lunging, but this pony had since he was ridden with his nose to his chest, he had no walk, of course, and of course his trot was straight up and down. Conformation-wise, he's 14.3, not a true pony, but he's got pretty short legs and a pretty regular body. So he could use some longer legs, but, we work with what we have. This was another pony I was picked up from my hairdresser as a possibility for my grandson. And as you can see, we are starting to, stretch to the ground. It's not a lot and it's not very consistent, but we are getting there. And so I've been really working on that with the work in hand, really trying to get him down and really swinging at the walk. And when I worked him, day before yesterday, he was doing a good job. I was very pleased. He had made great strides. This pony also doesn't know how to stop. All his stop has ever been is, pull my head to my chest and I'll eventually get there. So we're working on, of course, trying to just sit still and everything still, and then just see if he will come to a stop. And he is doing much better and getting much more sensitive to what's being asked of him. I think that break there was when I lengthened the side reins, because he is going down further. This pony's trot, if you let him, is straight up and down. Like I said, he was ridden with his nose to his chest, so he has no idea what his shoulders are for, or what hocks are for, or going anywhere. But we've come a long way. And here I'm just working on, okay, let's try to walk and trot and walk. because he does not, ouch, listen very well sometimes. So we're getting there. And I don't want to be so hard on him that, you know, I just create issues. So we are working on it, and he's getting there. As you can see, he will slow down, and of course then there we go. We finally got it. So I'll go on to a shorter lunge line a lot with him. So it's a smaller circle to get him there to stretch. And of course, then I'll start walking with him and let the line out and see if we can keep it. But if we don't, we go back to a smaller circle. He used to also try to take off and jerk the line away from me. We were trying to walk, and it'll take a while. But anyway, and he finally, okay, we walked. So we had to get over that disobedience of course, being an orphan foal. He likes to think, you know, he is in charge. But we have had a few meetings, and they've usually been over food. And so he has gotten more respectful and has obtained some better manners for that. So hopefully that will show up. But see, this walk right now is not very energetic, but he is trying to stretch down, as you can see. But like I said, I decided I would really work on this. I do get on him toward the end. And with both of my ponies, I've gone back and I'm just doing a lot of walk on them. And I've changed direction here. And just a really good, trying to get that really good swinging walk with the head and neck stretched down, and with some power behind. Now here, it's not too bad, but it's a little slow, little lazy. There's not a lot of power coming through from behind, and of course, if you don't have the power coming through from behind, then you're not going to get a very good stretch. But he gets some in there. For him to poke his nose out when we first started this, it was like, you mean I can do this and nobody's going to jerk my head up? I mean, that was the feeling. That was what he was telling me. He says, I'm not supposed to go like this, you know. So this isn't bad, but we need a more, of course, energy from behind. And, but like I said, you know, he's got these little legs. So, you know, I don't know how much, you know, we're going to get. When I first started him at the walk, he was a foot away from his front feet with his hind feet, and that was at the walk. At least now, when we can get that nice swinging walk, we are stepping into our footprints, so we are covering some ground now. Trot, we're getting closer, and you know, I hope down the line that he will get there, but he's really got to get that back up and strong, because he's never had to. He's, what, about 10 years old, I think, this year. So, you know, it will take some time. And this one, when I got him about a year ago, last December, I couldn't do a whole lot with him for, boy, 3-4 months. He had thrush so bad, you know, he was lame. And then, you know, we would keep working on it. I would take him over to the round pen and just do a little bit of work with him. But I couldn't do a lot because the thrush was so bad. So I kind of had to, wait. And just the other day, I found another hole in his foot. Thank goodness it seems to be an old hole. But hopefully this time when the shoer comes tomorrow, we will, get that a little bit more exposed. And I can treat it even better than with it sort of semi-covered up still. So we haven't had any lameness, lately from it. But I know parts of his feet, that's his hind foot, and he doesn't like me picking in there. So it's in there. So hopefully his feet are well on the mend. As you can see, he's going pretty good, but hopefully it'll get even better. See, and okay, yeah, and I'm asking him to stop. And of course we just kind of saunter on because I don't have to do what you say. So, but he'll be fine. He's actually working with both of these ponies is a lot of fun to see them come around. Pivot, the other one, the little bay. I think I just let his side reins out, another hole. He was 6 when I got him and I only had 30 days or so on him. And whereas this one was 9 when I got him, but belonged to a very novice rider and had just been, I think at one time, backed, by a cowboy, and that's been about it. So, and an orphan foal on top of it. So he just, has done what he pleased. So we're getting there. Yeah, I lengthened it, and of course, see, he's much better, stretching more forward. So because with this one, when I ride him, boy, there is no feel in my hand whatsoever. We've gotten, with the work in hand, he will stretch and feel, and I allow him to stretch down, but it's the only time I feel him in my hand at all. And if he kind of gets to that bit, of course, he just backs off because that's what he's used to doing. So I play with the side reins and, try to have them there for some feel on the bit, but also he's got to be willing to stretch down for me too. So, and I think that, and then I'm down to asking him to walk, which of course we get smaller and smaller in our circle. And then again, when we ask for hoe, it takes a while. Man, it used to take me forever. Okay, here I'm on board. And you can see I spent quite a while, and I cut some of that working hand and lunging out. So I'm here trying to, of course, get him to step out and stretch down. And that's not always the easiest thing to do because if he's got any contact, you can see there he is, and he would just as soon go behind and lose it. Of course, he doesn't. And of course, when he doesn't like something, we like to trot and, to run to get out of it. And so there I am asking him to walk, which we don't do very well. And we finally sort of give up more than anything. I just go into that smaller circle, and so that I don't have to just pull on him too much. I'm trying to get out of that. And then we go back to walking. And as you can see here, the walk is beginning to get ground covering. I would like, and this is what I wanted to see, was, how he was doing, because I work a lot by myself, so I don't have anybody to really watch me. That's why the solo shot has become such a handy thing. So you can see he does not want to stretch down and out. And when I'm really asking him some stuff, he is stepping over there a little bit underneath. You know, he does not want to take the contact and go down with it. He will just kind of curl it. He's not just going to his chest anymore, but he does. I'm sure he's right in here. He's probably behind the vertical. Oh, he's at least just vertical. So I'm trying to get him to step over. So I'm tapping him, smaller circle, changing direction, and I'll try to ask him to step over. He still is just not going anywhere. No energy in this walk at all. So I can sometimes get him to take more contact on the bit when I widen my hands. So I just keep going out, widen out, push him on, and then try to bring him up. And you can see there, I'm asking for more stepping under to the left. And he slows down, you know. And if he gives me a little stretch, then I let him walk on out of it. I think yesterday or the day before when I rode him, I can never remember. But anyway, my memory says he was walking better than this, that I had more energy, which would be nice. Okay. And there, I'm trying a little leg yield. Anything to get that inside left hind leg there. Yeah, we're pushing, stretching on that bit. That's nice. That's nice. That's something he is very rare for him. So that little bit of leg yield, trying to get him to step under, you know, did give him that want to stretch. And then when he started to lose it, we did another, you know, smaller circle. So, and that's better right in there for him. It's more down. It's not as out as much, but it is a little bit more down. And we have to take our little bits along with our, and praise the little bits, because that's what will get us there. All those little bits adding up. But see here again, we're kind of starting to suck back. And, yep, trying to do a little bit of leg yield there to get him to step under. I mean, it's just a matter of, you know, a step or two. And you can, there, that's what I wanted. But I feel like we're going in slow motion. So I don't know. And, you know, sometimes some horses, it's all they can give you. You know, at least for now. And if that's all he can give me for now, then I just keep working at it. And that's why I've pretty much just gone back to trying to improve. Because he's starting to suck back and come behind the vertical. It used to be easy to tell when he was behind the vertical because, of course, his whole head was just, you couldn't see the crown of the bridle anymore. But when he just does it that little bit, it's harder to tell. So And we don't turn that well, and that's why I'm doing the zigzagging and asking him to follow inside rein, especially the left. His deal was to the left. He would grab hold of that left side of the bit and try to take off with you, lunging or riding. And he still, there we go, that was a little better. And of course, see, he can't handle it too much, so then he just figures, just trot away from it and maybe it'll go away. And we sit there, and I sit on him because I want him to walk. And I know it probably, pounds his back into the ground, but I need to make what he chooses less comfortable for him. So I go with the smaller circle. And, doing the sitting trot there, I'm trying to get him to step over more. And giving him, aids to walk. So